Here it is, the final session of today's California MTSS, partnering with Canvas LMS to bring you a digital learning showcase with districts all across California, really highlighting the California MTSS as a amplification of the stories of educators leveraging Canvas to support high quality MTSS. And really our hope on today was really to leave you inspired to connect and to continue building towards a more equitable future for all students. Now we want to talk about our website of registration happening for the California MTSS Professional Learning Institute. This year's theme is Know Me, Include Me, and it is being hosted by the Orange County Department of Education, partnering with a number of folks in California, and that Orange County Department of Education conference. It's the fourth annual. I'm really stumbling through this, and I'm not sure why, but it's the fourth annual California MTSS Professional Learning Institute on July 20th through July 22nd. Carissa, I think it's finally caught up with me. It's the final session of the day. You say it enough times, it's like, it's old hat, right? But I think the words are starting to stumble a little bit. But we appreciate Carissa being here, followed by our 2020 Canvas Student Scholarship winner, Tara Lamb, who I'm so excited to hear all about her journey and what it takes to. This is fantastic. We don't typically have, for those of us joining on the Canvas live stream, we don't typically have students join us. And it's nice to have a student be a part of this live stream to kind of give their perspective. So if you're an educator, administrator, a teacher watching on Facebook, YouTube, Live, LinkedIn, pay close attention. It's now you're gonna hear it from the horse's mouth, from Tara here to discuss all of the things student side Canvas LMS. And I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us, Tara. We are blessed and honored to have you on the show today. Carissa is going to kind of run things from that perspective. I'm going to let Carissa do an introduction for our guest, as she knows them a little bit more than I do. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for watching. We are extremely excited to have a moment to interview Tara Lamb. Just quick side note, because I'm definitely the side note in this presentation, but my name is Carissa Duran, and I am a principal learning consultant with Instructure. I'm excited to talk with Tara today, and I think, Tara, you wanted to share a little bit about your background. So if you want to just go ahead and start there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tara Lamb. I recently graduated from Fountain Valley High School, located in Southern California, and I plan to attend the University of California, Los Angeles as a biology major. And I also was ASB president.
Tremendous. So she is just a dynamic young woman that we are really pleased to introduce to you today. You might have seen her in previous sessions that we've held. We do like to amplify the voices of our students, and Tara has a really unique opportunity to share her story today to explain the ways that MTSS can really create the conditions for students to do really amazing things. Before we get into the questions, I want to provide a little bit of context around that. One of the things that we know about MTSS is that it is about a system of supports, right? It is about creating the conditions for students to do the amazing things that we know that they're capable of doing. And when we can create an environment that is student-centered, that is heavy on student support, and that really elevates the student voice, we're able to get stories like the one that Tara is going to tell you. And as a big proponent of Canvas LMS in our schools, I have to also say, we really believe here at Canvas that we're designing for students, right? Students are our number one customer, our number one focus at Canvas. And Tara was able to leverage Canvas to lead a really awesome project where you were, Tara, able to engage with Canvas in actually designing rather than just accessing a student experience for yourself and for your peers. So let's start with that story. Can you tell us a little bit about how you leveraged Canvas to connect students as ASB president last year?
Yeah, so going into my junior year, I noticed that there was a huge issue of access to information regarding multiple school events, important information that students need to know. And that's because not a lot of students have social media and not a lot of students check their emails every day. And it's really difficult for these students to get the information that they are supposed to be getting if they don't have access to these certain types of technologies. So going into my junior year, I came up with the idea of creating a clubs Canvas course that was designed to include all clubs and their board members and their advisors. And this was used for non-academic purposes. And we only use this Canvas course to kind of just spread information about club activities and connect these clubs on a deeper level that they've never been at before. And it was really successful. So like Carissa mentioned, last year, which was my senior year, going into my senior year, I was brainstorming with my ASB team and my advisor, and we were like, since the club's Canvas course was so successful, let's go ahead and do a grade level Canvas course. And the huge drive for this project and this idea was that with the pandemic, the students were not connecting with each other like they used to. Students were having their cameras off. No one was talking to each other in the chat. It was just really sad because my school, Fountain Valley High School, we pride ourselves on connection and school spirit and just a welcoming environment. But because of the pandemic, we kind of lost that. And it was just really sad to see because I know our students love to socialize and talk to each other. So with these grade level Canvas courses that we set up, we split our student body into 4 courses. So freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, they all got a course. And through this, we just had fun with it. We took this course and we use traditionally academic features like assignments, and we use discussion boards. We took those and we put like a fun twist on it and gave students the opportunity and the ability to connect with each other in ways that they haven't for a long time because of this pandemic. It was really amazing. So many students participated that I was surprised that so many students participated, but a lot of students needed this, and I was really happy that we were able to touch so many kids. And yeah, so I'm just really proud of what we've done with these 4 Canvas courses, and we continue to do more with it in the future.
So you said that you are surprised by your success, but after talking to you, I have to say, Tara, I am not the least bit surprised by how successful you've been with both your clubs courses as well as your grade level course. But you said a ton of stuff in that summary of your experience that I would like to kind of unpack a little bit. So one of the things you mentioned was access, and you highlighted something that I think might be surprising to some educators, that while teachers might think, well, I sent them an email, or, hey, we're using Instagram and kids love Instagram, right? You're actually saying that a lot of times students don't have access to those tools. Can you talk a little bit more about access and how that contributed to your planning?
Yeah, so I'm naturally a really spirited person. I love school spirit. I love school events. So during my freshman and sophomore year, when I noticed that not a lot of students were dressing up for the spirit weeks or coming out to the lunchtime activities, I was really frustrated because I was like, our school is awesome. Like, we are all about school spirit. Why aren't these kids showing up? And over time, with my experience on student government, I realized that's because they don't have that same access to technology and to this information that I have the privilege of having. Like, I have social media, I check my emails, but not everyone does. Not everyone has like a laptop at home or Wi-Fi at home. And I know that everyone uses Canvas because that's where we access all our assignments, all our due dates. Everything is on Canvas. It's kind of like our one-stop shop. And with Canvas, I wanted to use Canvas to just help all these students get that information and help gain this access to all the information that they need. And yeah.
Incredibly thoughtful planning. So it's access in terms of students that may or may not have social media. It's access in terms of devices and broadband internet, but it's also access in terms of having what you're saying, that one-stop shop. So a single point of access, because you know that Canvas is being utilized, you know that there's going to be eyes on that platform eventually. So it was a great place for you to start that connection. Thank you for expanding on that. Another one of the things that you mentioned that I'm not sure if our audience was able to catch was that you didn't just stop there with your clubs courses. You iterated on it. So there was like a 2.0 version. So you and your team, you built club courses. And then when you found success there, and I think you've told me before that you went from having just a handful of clubs participating to having tons of clubs participating, right? That your next year, this past year, you actually built a Canvas course for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Can you tell me a little bit about how you leveraged those courses throughout this past year during distance learning?
Yeah, so we split our student body into 4 different Canvas courses, and we just placed all those students into one course. And it seemed like really overwhelming because we've never had that many students in one single course before. But we just took, like I mentioned before, like assignments. When you think of assignments, you think of like turn in your math homework, turn in your English paper or whatever. But we took the assignments and we started to ask students, hey, today's a spirit dress up day, like submit your spirit wear and we'll give you house points. And we split up points for these grade levels. So I think competition was also a really fun factor that our students really liked, because by splitting them up into grade levels, we encouraged them to like compete for points and participate in spirit days and stuff like that. A specific thing that we did with the discussion post, though, that I really, really liked was that we have this thing called What's Up Wednesday. So every single Wednesday, we kind of just reach out to the student body and we're like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Let's take this opportunity to connect with each other. And we provided prompts. So instead of the traditionally academic prompts, like cite your work from the book and analyze the quote, we kind of like just had fun, lighthearted prompts. And one week we did something where we set out to the students, who is a teacher that you admire and why do you admire them? So many students participated because I think our students, especially at Fountain Valley High School, really love our faculty and really are grateful for them, especially during the pandemic, because we failed to realize that not only the students were affected by it, but also our staff and our teachers. So by doing this discussion board and hearing all these responses about why our students love their teachers, we sent those responses to the teachers through email, and all the teachers reached out and they were super overwhelmed with happiness and joy and emotion. And it was just a really great moment to see not only the students connecting with each other through the little fun, lighthearted prompts we had, but the staff and the students connecting with each other. And it was just amazing to see, especially during remote learning.
I love the way that you sort of concluded and reflected on that anecdote, that idea that it wasn't just about students connecting to students, and it wasn't just about students leading, it was also students connecting to their teachers. And in that way, you were actually able to, with grade level courses, impact your school-wide culture. And at a time where it was really difficult, I think all educators and students across the country would agree, it was really difficult to maintain school culture and spirit and connectivity during the pandemic. But it sounds like you all kind of shifted that narrative by leveraging Canvas in a way where you got to reimagine it for non-academic uses. That's extremely powerful, Tara. Thank you for sharing that. I think one of the things that might be especially interesting for students and teachers who might be thinking of working together to build Canvas experiences like what you're describing is how to collaborate. So can you explain a little bit what it was like to collaborate with adults to build out these experiences?
Yeah, so the adult that I collaborated with for the club's Canvas course was Mrs. Said, and then the adult that I collaborated with for the grade level Canvas courses was Dr. Scon. And both of these wonderful staff members were ASB advisors as well. And as an ASB advisor, it's their responsibility to make sure that their students feel comfortable collaborating with all different types of adults. Like, as someone who's been on student government for 3 years, I have worked up the courage to feel comfortable to collaborate with not only teachers, but also like the administrators and also the parents. So it was at first really, for the club's Canvas course project, it was at first really scary because I was really hesitant and I didn't know whether the club's Canvas course idea was even possible. I was like, I have never seen a non-academic Canvas course ever in my homepage. So I was like, is this even possible? So when I approached Mrs. Said, and going into my junior year, I was really scared that she would shut the idea down immediately and say, no, I've never seen that before. We're not going to do it. But instead, she responded really in a really encouraging manner. And she said, that's a great idea. I will find out if that's possible and get back to you as soon as I can. And when she said that she would get back to me as soon as she can, she did. She got back to me like the next day and she said, yes, I called the Canvas district tech person and they said that they could get that started right away. And right there, I was just so overwhelmed with happiness because this idea that could potentially impact so many students was possible. And all the worries that I had of, oh, this course isn't possible, it kind of just faded away with her support. And the fact that she didn't shut me down immediately. And yeah, like I said, I thought this idea was crazy, but it turns out it wasn't. Turns out it was successful. And same thing with Dr. Scon. She was really passionate about making sure that this project was student-led and student-centered. And I think that was also one of the main reasons why it was so successful, was because me and my commission had the power and the opportunity to take hold of these Canvas courses and kind of just do what we want with it, with her guidance and her knowledge about Canvas. And yeah, I'm just really thankful that I was able to work with two amazing teachers.
That is beautiful and a tremendous testament to the quality and the care of those educators. One of the things you just mentioned was the knowledge of Canvas. And so I'm wondering, as a student who is used to accessing Canvas and submitting assignments and working in it as a student, what was it like for you to then work in Canvas as sort of a designer?
Yeah, so I, for 3 years, have been only using Canvas from the student's point of view. And I don't know if you all know, but the teacher's point of view and the student point of view on Canvas were extremely different. So when I looked at it from the teacher's perspective, I was super overwhelmed. I was like, what is this button? What is that button? And just really overall confused. But that's also where Mrs. Sayed and Dr. Scon came in and offered their expertise in Canvas, because Mrs. Sayed, she was an English teacher as well. So she really is well-versed in Canvas and all its features. So she really sat down with us and explained everything, explained how to post a discussion board, explained how to post an assignment, grade assignments, whatever. And with that knowledge that she passed down to us, I felt even more supported and more comfortable and confident in taking this course and making it my own and my group's own, and just helping more students through the course.
Brilliant. I love that in, I think, just about every one of your responses, you're talking about the way that you felt and the things that sort of shifted your feelings and sort of increased your confidence. So you're a young woman who is a scholarship winner and an innovator and a leader and a UCLA student. You're clearly a tremendous individual. And yet, in spite of, or maybe in addition to all of those successes and the way that you are, you still had some apprehension about doing something new. But it sounds like there were a lot of things at play and a lot of people at play that helped to shift that for you and kind of build a support network around you. You mentioned earlier that part of what you did was working with your commission to create these connections for students. Can you also expand a little bit on how you worked with other students or got feedback from other students or engagement with other students to lead this project?
Yeah, I love collaborating with students. It's my favorite thing because students know what students need and students want. So from a student's perspective, I know what my needs and wants are as someone who is going to school every day and someone who craves that connectivity that is so important to school culture. So when I collaborate with different people and hear from their perspective and point of views, it's just really inspiring to hear all the ideas that shoot back and forth between us. When me and my commission meet, it's kind of just like a brainstorming circle and we're all just like popping ideas back and forth. And I sometimes am really happy that I'm able to hear from other students' point of views, because if I didn't sit down with them and have that meeting and have that conversation, I wouldn't know what other students are feeling. And I wouldn't know the perspectives of different groups on campus. And I think that's a huge factor to student voice and student input. Fountain Valley High School really does try to get input from every single corner of the student body, because we know not all students think alike and all students are different. We have a really diverse student body. So just collaborating with students from all different backgrounds and hearing all these different ideas just inspires more change and more progress. And that's my favorite part about collaborating with others. Yeah.
Incredible. I think you actually just answered Emily's comment here, or question here. She asks, how did your teachers and admin support you? And so it sounds like they were really intentional, and not just last year, but it sounds like it's been the case that they're really intentional about making space for student voice. Does that sound right?
Yes. We have around like 80 plus clubs on campus. So our student body is around 4,000 kids. That might be an overestimate, but 4,000 kids. And there's a lot of kids on campus, but surprisingly, almost all of the activities that we have are largely student led. And students are the brains behind everything. They're the leaders. They're the ones who are leading these meetings, who are meeting with these adults and expressing their opinions. Like I love the students at Fountain Valley High School because just the environment that we've been provided is just really, it makes it really easy for us to step forward and express our opinions instead of being hesitant about it and holding those opinions in, because the student voice really is powerful.
So the environment that we're creating for our students is really what unlocks your ability and your willingness to innovate. That's incredible. I also love, and I want to just echo what you said a moment ago, that students know what students need and students want. And that's why MTSS is so important. That's why student voice is so important, because we can create the conditions as educators to let you just take the reins and go and make these amazing projects and lead these incredible initiatives. So I would bet, Tara, that the folks watching today are probably interested in how to involve students more in decision making, like what you were describing, especially when it comes to Canvas or similar projects to what you're sharing. What advice would you give to schools or teachers who want to invite students into designing in Canvas?
Yeah, I mentioned this briefly before, but students really fail to realize that the power that they have in their voice and in their actions, and that's why they're so hesitant to speak up or to take action. But that's where the advisors, the teachers, and the administrators come into play, and they make sure and reinforce the idea that speaking up is okay, contributing your ideas are okay, and I just think that when students get involved in projects like this, amazing things are to happen. So some advice that I would have for potential teachers or administrators who want to implement projects like this is to allow students to have room to brainstorm and lead projects with your guidance and with your support, obviously. But it just making sure that it doesn't feel like the students are being told what to do by an adult or being instructed when to do something or how to do something. That's really important. And just making sure the students feel like they have the reins on the project and the freedom to just come up with whatever they want. And because the students, like you mentioned before, the students know what other students want. So yeah, just specifically, I think that the adults' role in projects like this is to guide and to pass down the knowledge that they have as a teacher to their students. Like I mentioned before, teachers know how to use Canvas through like the assignments and the discussion boards, like passing knowledge like that down to students and giving them that power and the confidence to take a hold of leadership positions like this. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. So it's as simple as and as complex as saving space for students. I heard you say saving space, and I think that's really powerful language to capture what you're describing here. It is one thing to share knowledge and equip students with skills, and it's a whole other thing to really give them agency, to put them in the driver's seat like you are, and then to just watch from the side with a little bit of cheering the incredible things that they're able to do. Tara, this has been tremendous. I am so excited that you joined us today. And just so that everyone else knows, Tara is actually going to be one of our featured presenters at the California MTSS Professional Learning Institute near the end of July here. And we're extremely excited to see her lead a session and share a little bit more and tour some of her Canvas courses and show you practically how to do the things that have been done. Thank you again, Tara, for all of your time and your expertise.
As she should be. I think anybody that spent the last 25 minutes watching today's live stream with Tara can definitely see why she was our 2020 Student Scholarship winner. I actually put her nomination video was that from a previous educator, Tara and Carissa? The link to the Instagram video?
Yeah, that was from Miss Asayed, my ASB advisor for my junior year, who helped me through the club's Canvas course.
Awesome. So that nomination is actually in the comment section. You can watch that student nomination in real time. Not that you needed any more examples of Tara being awesome, but it's there for everyone to take a look at. Tara, Carissa, thank you so much. This is wrapping up an exciting day of talking about the California MTSS Professional Learning Institute and the conference coming up, as well as just showcasing all of the great things happening in California. You can check that bit.ly out at MTSS Canvas. We'll put it again in the comment section once the live stream has concluded. That is happening July 20th through the 22nd. Make sure to click that to be registered for the upcoming conference. We hope you've enjoyed today's round robin sessions. We've had lots of sessions today from 12 Eastern to about 5:30 Eastern here back to back, and we've really appreciated everybody's time. Thank you to all of our presenters. Thank you to Carissa and some folks there. Thank you to Daniel and Sarah, all the folks in California that kind of helped put this together. We really appreciate it. As always, we hope to see you on our next live stream. Let me just do a shameless plug. We have a few watchers still with us. Tomorrow's live stream, the Panda Pros, a new program. Carissa said, oh yeah, let's go. The Panda Pros that's being announced and launched. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. If you are a Canvas user, educator, admin, anyone, you want them to know about this live stream happening tomorrow. With the Panda Pro session. We have an exciting announcement. We're going to introduce that whole thing. Really cool on allowing you to have maybe some one-on-one time with our PLCs. Fantastic people like Carissa. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. Like, share, all of the things on Facebook. We are out of here for today. We will see you again tomorrow.